So I want to talk about the law of demand a little bit. And so I've got three things going on here in our really brief discussion about the law of demand. And I'll be adding some videos about changes in demand and what happens when demand changes and what are the reasons for the change in demand, what are the reasons for the change in what we call quantity demanded. And so we're going to be doing all of those in the next probably 3 or 4 videos. I'll have quite a few demand videos and several supply videos. But on this one, this is the law of demand right here. Remember, I like those abbreviations. So essentially what this means is when prices go up, it leads to a decrease in quantity demanded. In other words, when the price is high, we buy less crap, right? The higher the price for a normal good, and there are some goods that are different because we call inferior goods or luxury goods, but under normal circumstances, normal goods, when the price goes up, we're just going to buy less of it. And consequently, if the price goes down, we're going to buy more of it. And so that happens in almost every situation that we have because as consumers, we want to get as much as we possibly can for as little as we can. Now, everyone might be a little bit different. Maybe you're less materialistic or consumer-based than somebody else. But as a society, as a group, we tend to behave in very predictable manners, and this tends to be always the way that we behave, unless the good is what we call an inferior good, or unless it's a super luxury good. Those two tend to change behavior patterns. And we'll talk more about that later. But almost all of our goods that are normal goods follow this very predictable behavior. When the price goes up, we buy less crap, and the price goes down, we buy more crap. Okay? So here, I'm going to show you what we call a demand schedule. All right? This is a demand schedule. And so what I've done is you can see the price here and the quantity here. And I've done this. I love Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A sandwiches. So this is Chick-fil-A. Okay, so this is if Chick-fil-A sandwiches for 50 cents, $1, $2, $2, or $4. And this means if I walk in one day, and Chick-fil-A is having a buy all the chicken sandwiches you want for 50 cents a sandwich. Well, if that's the case, and I walk in, it's 50 cents a sandwich, I'm buying at least 20. Minimum, I'm buying 20. I can freeze them for later, whatever. I'm buying 20 of them, okay? If the price is low, I'm buying more. Now, let's say one day I walk in, instead of being 50 cents, let's say the price is $1. $1 is a pretty great price for those chicken sandwiches, which usually run about $4. So let's say I get 10. So right off the bat, you can see the price is going up, and I'm buying less. The price goes up to $2. Well, maybe I walk in one day and the price is $2. I'm still pretty happy because that's a pretty low price, so I'll buy 5. Let's say one day I walk in, the price is $3. Well, all right, well, I might buy 3. That's a lot cheaper than it usually is, a little bit cheaper. And then let's say I walk in one day and the price is $4, which is about what it always is, and I buy 2, which is about what I usually do. So you can see that it is following the law of demand, right? As the price is going up, we're buying fewer of them, or as the price is going down, we're buying more of them. And this is an individual demand schedule. If we put everyone's together, it would become even more pronounced because while there are some people who might be like, well, I buy 4 here and I buy 4 here. It all changes. It doesn't mean that everything has to everyone's demand schedule won't be the same. But as a whole, when we lower prices, people buy more stuff. And when we raise prices, people buy less stuff. Consumers buy less stuff. So that's what this demand schedule looks like. That's what the law of demand looks like. Well, we can also graph it because in economics, graphing tells us a lot about human behavior. It shows us a mathematical and visual expression of human behavior. And demand curves are a really important part of how we express the law of demand and how we express that behavior laid out in numerical order. Okay? So we can, if you want, you can look 50 cents as 20. So, all right, this is this one, and for $1 we got 10. Okay, and then for $2 we got 5. It's not true. $2 we got 5. For $3 we got 3, and for $4 we got 2. Right, and we just sort of. All right, we always put a D at the end of our demand curves. And to be fair, demand curves look kind of like this. They very rarely are linear, although for our purposes in this class, we're using basically what we would call an algebraic demand curve, where they'll pretty much be linear. Real life tends to be curved. It can be curved like this or curved like that. It tends to be curved somewhat, but we're going to use linear graphs just because it's going to make our analysis easier. And when we get to doing any kind of math, we will have pretty simple algebra or geometry instead of some calculus. So we're gonna when we do our curves, we're gonna make them straight. All right, it's the same thing. It's this exact same theories. Everything's the same. It's just gonna make our math easier because I want you to learn how this works rather than having to learn some different math. So you've seen here's our law of demand. Here's our demand schedule. And then here's how we're going to graph that, okay? So in the next video, I'm going to show you what a change in quantity demanded looks like. So we're going to see there's going to be a change in demand and a change in quantity demanded. First thing we're going to learn about is a change in quantity demanded.